So like I said last time, I recently got my record player working after like over a year of not having a power cable for it. And I'm also hoping to see if I can thrift a nice little CD player sometime soon. And because of that, been really in my physical media bag with regard to music. I brought in my CDs from my car recently. Oliver, hello. And I just wanted to go through them and show my collection. There's some that are still in my car, I think. I know I have a copy of The Downward Spiral that's like a 2-disc thing that has disc 2 is all the B-sides and remixes like Burn and that Coil remix of, I think it was Closer. I think I have Hellbilly Deluxe by Rob Zombie. I think I have Discovery by Daft Punk. Some of these speak to what my music taste used to be rather than what it currently is, because I've been collecting these since I was in middle school. A lot of these were gotten really cheap from this awesome record store in East Hampton, Massachusetts, where I'm from, called Platypus. Love that. It's run by this one like old guy who seems like a real solid dude. It's all alphabetical, so the first one is the Richard D. James album by Aphex Twin. Not as highly regarded as I think like Come to Daddy or Selected Ambient Works or Drux, but it's a really good one. It sees him playing with some sort of pseudo orchestral sounds, and it's one of his first like sort of drill and bass, like super breakbeat glitchy albums. I believe this has, let me see, it's kind of hard to read this. Yeah, it has Girl Boy Song, and yes, it has Milkman, which is one of my favorite Aphex Twin songs. It also has Cornish Acid, which is a great little track. And then from then we have something that goes into a theme of this sort of little CD collection, which is I have a lot of random shit from unknown bands that I like saw at small like local DIY shows when I was in high school and shit. This is a band of some people that I went to high school with called The Arcadians. And, I had a vinyl copy of their album that I really regret selling in a moment where I was trying to, like, erase all evidence of my life before, the age of 22 because of bad memories. I regret getting rid of it. This is a nice little compilation. This was a cool band. I saw them live a number of times and they were great. Ian, if you're watching this, hope you're doing well. Followed by a total vibe shift of one of the cringiest, like, Risecore, Christcore, aughts, metalcore, Warped Tour bands, Attack Attack, which I just adore this album and this band. I'm a huge Enter Shikari fan, and some people will say that Attack Attack is just like a shitty ripoff of Enter Shikari. Not true at all. Totally unique vibe, totally unique energy, really weird songwriting that just, it changes on a dime so much. They did it so different from everyone else, and the synths on this inspired me to actually buy a Microkorg, which I still have to this day. Love this record, love Caleb Shomo. Recently came out as gay, that's cool. Followed by another vibe shift with After the Drive-In, some more respectable, let's say, post-hardcore. This is a sort of greatest hits compilation. This station is non-operational. They have a small discography, and this has all the like big highlights. Obviously, One Armed Scissor, that one song that's like about your friends dying in a car crash, which is a weird theme that comes up in post-hardcore for some reason. It also has a DVD in it that's super cool that has like behind the scenes tour stuff, I think, and some music videos. Which next up is Crackle by Bauhaus, which is another sort of greatest hits compilation. It has all their big songs. I love Bauhaus a lot. It's got their cover of Ziggy Stardust from that one movie that like older trad goths all love, and We have a copy of Surf's Up, one of my favorite Beach Boys albums. And this weird sort of really sounding like a maxi CD or whatever this sort of packaging is called format. And the disc falls out of it, which is why Turn It Up Records in Northampton, Massachusetts was kind enough to give me a little sleeve to put the actual disc in. That they tied all together with a rubber band that wound up coming off and then melting and sticking to... these were all in my car for a while. It melted in the summer heat and then froze back up and stuck to a bunch of my jewel cases when it got colder, which fucking sucks because it kind of wrecked some of my favorite, like, most rare CDs. Past Masters Volume 2 by the Beatles, which, you know, this is a really solid singles compilation. Some of these were only released as singles, like Lady Madonna. This has some, you know, some good tracks, some real classic stuff. Interesting to note, in the credits on Get Back and Don't Let Me Down, it directly credits Billy Preston, who is somebody I think doesn't get enough credit for his contributions in the Beatles. Followed by another DIY show purchase. I don't remember this fucking band. This is some metal band I saw in like 2014 or something. I don't fucking know. I haven't listened to this CD in over a decade. I'll probably put it on sometime just to see. But then we have a real, you know, classic of heavy metal, Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Real solid one. I kind of find it a bit overrated in their catalog. I prefer the self-titled and that one with Sabbath Play Sabbath or whatever. The one with the like real low like C tuning. And then I have a real jewel that I want to clean this jewel case. Crack Clouds Over Art's Kitchen by Black Cray, Terrorist Posse. Who else remembers Terrorist Posse? I want a Terrorist Posse shirt so much just for like the edgelord factor. One of the greatest cloud rap albums of all time. Absolute SoundCloud classic. This is an alternate cover. Fucking love this album. Sort of a personal friend. We haven't talked in ages, but Blind Equation, Death Awaits, real cool release. It was crazy to see like Oomp's record in a record store. You know, we even have a song together. It's crazy. James is a solid dude, real busy these days. You know, going into, I remember really liking this artist, Bolo Santosi, who I saw live and bought one of their CDs. Never kept up with them. I hope they're doing well. This is a interesting one. My high school drum teacher gave me this as like, go and listen to this and study it. When I was getting really into jazz drumming later on in high school. And I was in the high school jazz band. And then this is probably my favorite Bubblegum Octopus album, Bad Happy. Bubblegum Octopus is great if you don't know them. I saw them live with Debbie McCallion in Worcester, Massachusetts, like right before I moved. And got this. Everybody was like mobbing Debbie at the merch table after the show, but I was the only person who was more there for BGO than Debbie. She was great though. I love her stuff. And then we have Car Seat Headrest Twin Fantasy. This really awesome 2-disc release that has Mirror to Mirror and Face to Face on it. So that's really cool to have. I'm not gonna open it because all these are gonna... Can't do this one-handed. It's all gonna fall over and I'm not gonna get it, but the internal cover art is also really good. Another classic of post-hardcore, Circa Survive, Juturna. Love this one. This is a great one. Was this Anthony Green's band? I'm so bad with names. Seosin. Mr. Seosin himself, post-Seosin career. Really great album artwork, too. Another gem from Turn It Up Records in Northampton. Oliver's going crazy behind me. He found a hair tie on the floor and is playing with it. My favorite Converge album, Petitioning the Empty Sky, awesome album artwork. Jane Doe fans, go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. Jane Doe is fine, but this record is just so raw and energetic. I love it so much. This was my first actual Converge album that I ever listened to. And I adore it. I go back to this frequently. The Crew Shadows. Which fucking album is this? Ethernaut. Oliver, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just gonna let him get his energy out. And hope he doesn't wreck the whole house up. The Crew Shadows are a really solid dark wave band that all the true heads kind of love. I like them too. They're good. They're a bit melodramatic if you're not a fan of that sort of thing, but you know, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. Interesting record. I think it's aged terribly. It was huge when it came out, and all the normies that don't really listen to Daft Punk much love this one. And I don't. I think that they got a bunch of clout for working with Pharrell and using quote-unquote real instruments and making quote-unquote real music and not that fake dance music crap. And I think this record is their worst one, and not very good, not very memorable. Doing It Right, fantastic song. Giorgio by Moroder, great. Everything else, it's okay. Some of it is kind of mid, Get Lucky. Not actually a very good song. It's catchy, it's, you know, fun disco for the whole family. It's not actually that good. Discovery is way better. Homework is way better. I would even say that Human After All is better. That's a fascinating record. David Bowie, Earthling. I love this. This is, hi, you're walking right through my CDs. Okay, buddy, let's have you get down from here. David Bowie, Earthling. David Bowie's mid-90s jungle D&B rave album, with an assist from Trent Reznor on the single. That is a fantastic song, I'm Afraid of Americans. Reznor's in the video too. It's got a great video. I love this record. Go give this a listen. It's a later Bowie album, so it doesn't get the sort of regard and accolades as like the Berlin Trilogy or, you know, Ziggy Stardust or Space Oddity. Hi, little man. What's your deal? But it's a great record. You should listen to it, especially if you have any love for like D&B or any of the like revivalism stuff like Pink Panthers. The way that she does things. This was super predictive of that. I think Dead by Wednesday was a metalcore band that I think was being kind of shutted out on Facebook or something last I heard. I don't know. This is their EP. I saw them open up for DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, and their like grandmothers were in the crowd and like super confused by people moshing, and they like tried to pull up folding chairs and sit in the front row when people were about to create a mosh pit, and it was super funny to see. But they were actually really great live when I saw them. But you know, I don't know what they're up to. I feel like they probably kind of got into a post-Warped Tour terribleness thing. Deadmau5, for lack of a better name. Deadmau5 is a total dick, and a lot of his music, especially later on, was super fucking boring. But I think this is a solid one. It has Ghosts and Stuff and more Ghosts and Stuff. This is a continuous DJ mix, actually. I think this might be a 2-disc release that has the songs unmixed and mixed. I know such a thing exists, but this is a very nice record. You know, put aside Deadmau5 being a complete piece of shit and give this a spin. There's something of value here. And then we have Death Grips the Money Store. What more can you fucking say? This is a classic. This is maybe their most it's weird to use this term, but their most poppy record and maybe their most accessible record, but it's still great. Now here's a real sad sight. My worn out, kind of fucked up looking copy of Pixie by Echo 2K. God, this EP was great. I'm so glad I got the physical when I did. It's a great fucking record. Echo is such a genius. I love having this. I have a poster that came in this up here along with my Exeter poster. I love that album. I'm so glad I have it. Sad that it got kind of fucked up. 18 Visions, Until the Ink Runs Dry. This is 18 Visions before their, like, sort of hair metal, or, like, what's the label they were on? What's it called? Core? Whatever. This was when they were in their more, like, this is more in the vein of, like, Petitioning the Empty Sky by Converge. Very chaotic, intense, record. The song Who the Fuck Killed John Lennon has a fantastic title and is a fantastic track. Give this a spin if you like the more like intense, crazy sign of metalcore. They kind of invented fashioncore, and their whole discography is worth exploring. And I think it's very insightful for like the way that metalcore went in the early 2000s and how it went from being the super crazy and kind of inaccessible underground scene to being like the sound of radio rock. Fall Out Boy, Infinity on High, and From Under the Cork Tree. Not a lot to say about these. I still like Fall Out Boy. I like pre-breakup Fall Out Boy. Their post-breakup stuff is hot garbage, but these are good records. Come on. It's good pop punk. It's solid. You can't hate on it. Fields of the Nephilim, more like post-punk gothy shit. This is a great thing for if you fell for the total fake genre that is quote-unquote Russian post-punk, which is about as, you know, coherent of a genre as like if I said, yeah, I'm really into like Illinoisan ska, like as if that's a coherent sound or scene. It's just fucking post-punk. This is a great post-punk band. Give them a listen. Oliver, don't go back there. I might have to help you get out of there, buddy. Jesus Christ. Of course you're doing this while I'm filming something. The Flaming Lips, I grew up listening to this band. You Shoot Me Bells, The Pink Robots, Cloud Space Metallic, classic albums. This is a later one that was leaning really heavy into synths and electronic stuff. And I like this album a lot. I think it's really fantastic. Embryonic, give it a listen. Wayne Coyne said some stupid shithead things. You got out okay? Recently about AI. Fuck him for that. He always kind of stole the spotlight from the rest of the band, kind of unfairly, I think. And their guitarist recently left us. A whole mess. Frank Zappa. We're only in it for the money. Interesting setup of hippie counterculture. This has so many short little vignettes of songs. It's a fascinating listen. Not the most highly regarded Zappa album, I think, these days, but it's worth a listen for sure if you like that sort of thing. Followed by one of his best, Hot Rats. What can I say about this? Good fucking God. This has Willie the Pimp on it. That's a fantastic song that has Captain Beefheart on it. And it has all those other ones. It has fucking Peaches and Regalia on it. You can't go wrong with that. Followed by a personal favorite Zappa with the Damaged Jewel Case, Jazz from Hell. This has, I always forget things when I turn on the camera. None of these are scripted. That one thing that, like, Herbie Hancock and, Stevie Wonder used. It was an early like sequencing sampler thing. Really interesting, like fucked up MIDI clowncore bullshit here. It's a crazy fucking record. I love it. Give it a spin. One of the Insane Clown Posse, whoop whoop, all my Juggalo fam. One of their best, Riddlebox. Spectacular Joker card. Which tracks are on this one? Come on, can we zoom into the track list? Can we focus on the track list? No, we cannot. I know there's some good shit on this. I own the fucking record. I can't take it out because the whole stack will fall over, even more than it already has. Got some small things. The Jam Messengers. Geez, I saw these at the Flywheel in East Hampton back in the day. These are some old guys who had a real, like, rockabilly, classic rock, 50s kind of sound. They put on a great show. That was a great time. They just tore the house down. You know, they were on a bill with a bunch of young cats and, like, hardcore and, like, punk bands. But they really did their thing. They put on a great show. What are you gonna do now? Come on, buddy. Be reasonable. Be reasonable, young man. I'm gonna talk about the next one. And you just knocked down a lamp. Don't do these things, man. I'll pick that up later. Good Lord. We gotta establish boundaries, man. Jay-Z, The Blueprint, fuck capitalism, but Jay-Z has some good raps. This has some early Kanye production, some of his most classic songs, in my opinion. Maybe that's my zillennial bias, but I love this record. This is my favorite Jay-Z. And then we get my 3 Korn albums. I swear to God, there's a copy of Follow the Leader in my car somewhere. But I got Issues, which kind of the start of Korn's decline, but it has, God, what's the name of that fucking song? Falling Away From Me, which is one of their best songs. It was the one they played on that South Park episode. I love this record. It's the beginning of the end. The track list has a lot of misses, but one really huge hit. And it's one of their best album covers. I have a shirt somewhere that has this little doll thing on it, followed by their self-titled, which I'm a huge fan of. And then followed by my favorite Korn album, Issues. Good God, Twist and She on this. The fucking drumming on these albums, man. Nu metal was a drummer's genre. These are some of the best drummers in the fucking game. They did, the energy and the hard-hittingness of, like, hardcore and metal with the groove of, like, funk and hip-hop. And David Silveria was so tight, so frantic, so frenetic, so, like, full-bodied. It sucks they stopped giving a shit about his instrument and became an underwear model. I know the Carter 2 is sort of the canon best Lil Wayne album, but my favorite is the Carter 3. Again, zillennial bias, but this has A Milli. This has Comfortable. This has Let the Beat Build. This has, what was that one song? I mean, it has Shoot Me Down. It has Mrs. Officer Is Aged So Weirdly. It has Tie My Hands. Has Phone Home. It has Dr. Carter. What a crazy fucking song. It has Monster. It has Lala. It has just, this is a great record. Don't tell me this isn't a great album. Don't tell me that you don't go crazy when you hear A Milli or Lollipop. Don't tell me that Comfortable isn't one of the best beats you've ever heard. One of Kanye's best. Then we get into the Limp Bizkit section. I have all 3 of their good albums, don't at me. Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. Significant Other. The synths on the intro and outro of this are so cool. They're very squelchy, very 303. It's a good album. And their best album, again, don't at me, $3 Bill Y'all. Counterfeit is one of the best songs they ever made. Then we have Sasscore. Is the Locust Sasscore? Comment below and tell me how I'm a fucking idiot that doesn't know anything about music. This isn't their best album, but it's good. It's good. It's Sass. Sass is like, you put, at a certain point, it's like 10 to 1 doesn't know the other, however the saying goes. It's all Sass. It's all a bunch of fucking homos screaming over crazy guitar riffs and flailing their limp wrists around. I say that as somebody who had some weird Transsexual Gay Sex yesterday. My Maple CDs. Let's fucking go, Maple. Recently followed me on Twitter. That was a huge honor. One of the best artists to come out of the sort of rave side of the hyperpop scene, the sort of 909 worldwide side. I have Music for Funny Animals and Songs to Put in Your iPod. These are both great little CDs. Check out Maple. She or they, I'm sorry, I don't know your pronouns off the top of my head, I'm sorry. Made that Sebi Play Poker remix with the like little D&B groove on it that got big on TikTok. I like Maple. One of the best in the game, honestly. One of the best at what Maple fucking does. Metallica Master of Puppets. I have turned heavily off of Metallica. I accidentally hit the button to get my record player to go. Jesus. But, you know, if there's any Metallica album that I'm ever going to go back to, it's going to be this one. So I might as well hang on to it. I got my 2 Ministry albums. For some fucking reason, they don't put the actual title on the sleeve. They got these weird fuck up runes. I forget what this album is called. It's the one with Jesus Built My Hot Dog with Gibby Haynes on it. You know, it's, you know, their most famous record. And then The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste, which I like more. This is leaning more industrial, less metal. Still very metal, but, you know, great fucking record. Ministry is a solid fucking band. Any time of the day. My One Misfits CD, Earth AD, this is them sort of trying to adapt to the changing days of hardcore. It's got Earth AD, obviously the title track. It's got Devil Walk, Mommy Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight. It's got some of their best songs, honestly. This was kind of the end of the Misfits, but it's still a great record. And MCR, my one My Chemical Romance CD, 3 Tears for Sweet Revenge, second best MCR album. The best one is Bullets, which I don't have. The further they got away from the sort of raw, sort of DIY, super Texas is the reason indebted sound they started out with, the worse they got. Don't fucking at me. I don't want to hear any fucking yemos in my fucking comments. If you ever watched a fucking Dan and Phil video, don't tell me shit about MCR because I know more than you and I am more musically adept than you, and I have no trouble finding the comments to say that. The 2 Nine Inch Nails album that I do have, the Broken EP, which it's so cool to see the track list go up when it gets to the hidden tracks on this. I love the packaging on this and on the Fragile, quite frankly. I mean, look at this. We're getting to the point where I can actually take these out of the stack and it doesn't totally dissolve, but look at that. And this has some great fucking songs on it. And then the Fragile, maybe the best Nine Inch Nails album. I still lean towards Downward Spiral, but you know, double album thing right in there. I think this might be a first pressing. Super old looking. I love Nine Inch Nails. I love Nine Inch Nails. I think this is, I might have a copy of In Utero hiding away in the car. But Unplugged in New York, this might be the best Nirvana album. The best thing about Nirvana was Kurt's melodic songwriting. And, you know, stripping away the distortion and filing down the track listing to focus on the ones that work best in an acoustic setup really highlights what is best about Nirvana, in my opinion. This album deserves all the hype. This is the best Unplugged album. You know, it deserves what it has. Life After Death, Notorious B.I.G., great album. You know, I'm tempted to say it has some filler, but I can't tell you which songs are the filler because it's, you know, it's a double album. There's an R. Kelly feature on here, which is fucking yikes, but I don't think, I want to say he didn't know about it, but also he was, you know, big up with Diddy, but also, you know, people speculate Diddy had him killed because he was trying to jump ship to Rockefeller, and you know, see right there, Sean Puffy Combs, and, you know, he's fucking yapping all over the goddamn album. you know, you can't deny Biggie, though. He was an incredible rapper. And this song, you know, it's a double album, but I really don't think it has any fat. I Love the Dough, Last Day with the Locks, Kicking the Door. Maybe that B.I.G., Nasty Boy, Play a Hater, that's where the fat is. The one where he's just badly singing over like a Casio keyboard, like Frank Sinatra pastiche. What the fuck was going on? What was going on in the studio that night? You didn't need to do that, man. You didn't need to do that, Biggie. No need for that. One of my favorite albums of all time, I also have this on vinyl. The Postal Service Give Up. Man, I feel like this is silently one of the most influential albums of the 2000s. You look at a lot of sort of bedroom pop, a lot of sort of electro pop and like indie pop stuff that came afterwards. I think it's really heavily indebted to this, but nobody did it quite as well as the Postal Service. Then we have a kind of underrated late period Prince NPG era album. Diamonds and Pearls, the title track on this is spectacular. Another thing that I know is it's somewhere in my fucking car. Love Symbol album, which I think I like a little bit more than this, but you know. Title track, Cream, Thunder, goodness gracious. There's a lot of great shit on here, you know? I love it. Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, probably their best album. It's got Down Rodeo, it's got Bulls on Parade, it's got, you know, Revolver, Vietnam, People of the Sun, You're the Boomerang, that's a good fucking track without a face, but they're such a consistent band, you know, at least the first two albums, it hits all the way through, no fat, no filler, all killer. And then, of course, I have the debut self-titled, another great one. Yeah, I feel like they were still sort of finding their sound here, which is why I think Evil Empire is a little bit better, because it's a little bit more refined and a little bit more focused, really a bit more locked in. But some of the more, I guess, kind of experimental tracks on this one, like Settle for Nothing, which is a more sort of introspective and introverted one that talks about, you know, mental health and the greater social context around it, and like racialization stuff. That's actually a really profound song, and they're more sort of different, sort of more, I guess, sort of more overt, like sloganeering approach to politics that they took later. Sort of clashes with it, but I think that's a great little blip in their discography with Settle for Nothing. Then we get to my least favorite album in this entire collection, Rammstein. I'm not gonna fucking pronounce that. I'm sorry if anybody. I have at least one friend that's from. She's Swiss, but it's Swiss. But I'm sorry, I'm bad with my German pronunciation, and I know that Swiss German it's a completely different language. I know, but still, it's kind of the same language. I'd probably still kind of enjoy this if I put it on, but I find this phase of my life regrettable. This is I'm kind of posting cringe here, followed up by the opposite of cringe, Seosin, fuck yeah, their EP, Jesus Christ, yeah, this is not the one that has, I swear to God, I've got, name, fuck, Jesus, this is a good little thing. Seosin, you can't go wrong with them, especially early on. I swear to God, this had 7 years on it last time I looked at it. I'm losing my mind. Now we're going to get to the Skinny Puppy section. Last Rites is underrated. I think this is a great song. Killing Game is a fascinating track. You know, one of their more sort of stripped down drum machine centric, sort of electro almost albums. Fuck, what was this one called? Right, Mind the Perpetual Intercourse? I can't read that. This is a good fucking one. This has... Yeah, Three Blind Mice is a good... Yeah, this is the one with Dig It, which Nine Inch Nails was accused of plagiarizing. I feel like I also have a Pre Hate Machine CDs hidden somewhere. Some of my CDs might have gone missing or gotten lost. I hope they didn't. Another favorite, Too Dark Park. Again, it's like with the Money Store, it's weird to describe anything of Skinny Puppy as like accessible or poppy, except for that one album with the song with the breakdancing in like 2004. But this is that, if anything. It has Spasmolytic, which is maybe their best song. God. Shoreline Poison. What a great fucking album. Tormentor. Fucking. Yeah, that one song where it's like, kiss the master's feet. I love Skinny Puppy. Love them. Love them. Skrillex, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. Change the fucking world. Man, if you don't like Skrillex, get the fuck away from me. We can't hang if you're not cool with Skrillex, alright? Love this EP. I got a super bargain bin at I think an FYE in the Holyoke Mall. Is that even still around? They could have torn that down in the year or so that I've been out of Massachusetts, but who knows. The best Slipknot album, their first one, their most raw album. Really interesting band. I think they benefit from the raw production, just like Korn did earlier on in their career. I see Slipknot as a bridge between the nu metal era and the metalcore deathcore era. There's a take for you. Discuss it. I think it's cool. Now we're getting into some shit. In the mid-2010s, I was walking through Times Square because I was in New York City for some reason, and somebody handed me this. I think I listened to it once. Yes, Styrofoam Sanchez. I saw them live. They were so fucking cool. Really cool industrial act with a really cool visual aspect of it. Seeing them was so awesome for me. I love Styrofoam Sanchez. They had a great sound too. I think I might have gotten this at PAX East. It's a solid album of like video game covers. System of a Down, Toxicity, and Self-Titled. These are fantastic albums, classics of the nu metal genre. Not much else to say other than they're great. I have takes about so that I'll spare you for now. Taking Back Sunday. Tell All Your Friends. It's a reissue that I got. For some fucking reason, I was going through a big phase of loving Taking Back Sunday at this point. I have a Taking Back Sunday like vintage t-shirt that I got around that time. It has some like Daleks on it. Great album. I have this on CD and vinyl, and I think I had a cassette that is lost to the sands of time. This is an interesting bridge, I think, between like the super commercial mainstream stuff and the more like quote-unquote real emo side of like this wave of post-hardcore. You may know Trillville from the song Some Cut, and they had some real bangers. This is a single of their, a later single of theirs called Nothing Less, that when I started going to Holyoke Community College, I found this in a bin of free CDs, and I was like, I know Trillville, they're pretty cool, I like crunk, I like that era of hip-hop. Let's pick this up. Why not? It's free. An underrated, White Zombie album, Astro Creep 2000. This is kind of a bridge between White Zombie and the Rob Zombie solo career that I find to be quite good. It has good songs on it. Again, it has them playing around with synths and drum machines, which I believe I read somewhere is kind of what broke the band up, but this is a solid listen if you like that kind of metal, which I do. I think it's good. Look at all these fallen CDs. Good God. Enter the Wu-Tang. I can't say anything that hasn't already been said about this. 36 Chambers, good God. Wasn't Raekwon at Palantir recently? That's so fucked up. But this is still a classic album. What is there even to say? Let's see. God, a good friend of mine, Joe, burned a copy of The Mollusk by Ween for me. Gave this to me. This is precious to me, even though it's a fucking burnt CD. Symbol of Friendship. Interesting fucking band, Yellowcard. Good God. This is the one that had Ocean Avenue, which they got into a stupid fucking lawsuit with Juice WRLD over that only made them look bad. But, you know, having a sort of Warped Tour pop punk band with a violinist in it it results in a compelling sound, I think. Even if the songwriting isn't always, you know, the best that the genre has to offer. I have some burnt CDs here. I had a Nightmare Before Christmas phase that was really intense. This is the soundtrack. I burned it so I could listen to it in my parents' car. Dark Noise. This is like a EBM industrial compilation, I believe, that I got from Platypus. Interesting stuff. I really want to get that, you know, thrift a cheap CD player so I can throw this on and listen to it again. For the Headbangers. I think this is another DIY show, find or a weird Platypus pickup. Now this is the real shit. I can find so little about this online, but it is an awesome acid house compilation called Mysterons Invade the Jacking Zone. Full of classic Chicago house, and it has a really cute little graphic novel in it that I love. I love this little compilation. I'm so glad I have it. More Nightmare Before Christmas shit. Yeah, another weird compilation CD. This is from, I think, Nuclear Blast. Yep. And it's a black metal compilation. Dimir Borgir, Emperor. Interesting seeing Cradle of Filth among these more highly regarded bands, but this is a solid little black metal compilation. I never got super deep into black metal, but I fuck with it. This is a great little hardcore comp that I have. Tripping on 666 Beats from Hell, 2 CD set. Fuck yeah, I was geeked when I found this. Look at that art. It's so fucking cool, man. I love this. Happy to have this fucking thing. Last thing, I think I found this at a thrift store for like dirt cheap. I don't know why I fucking have this. Why would I ever need this? Good lord. But I have the Ocarina of Time 3D official soundtrack for some fucking reason.